How you doing? I'm Michael Sweet, formerly of Stryper, lead vocalist, and you're watching Heaven's Metal Video Magazine. One question I guess I'll start with is, you know, some memories. Some of the best memories of my life, you know, were when I was in Stryper and involved with Stryper. I mean, we did 5 world tours. We put out 6 records. We sold 4.5 million records. You know, it was neat how it started. You know, we basically started, our first gig was at the Cuckoo's Nest in Huntington Beach, and we played to about 20 people. And it just, from there, that's where it began, and it went and went and went and escalated and escalated.
Hey everybody, Robert Sweet. I'm still in Stryper, and you are watching Heaven's Metal Video Magazine. We started off with a bunch of guys in a garage with a $5,000 EP, and then it just began to explode. It began to come into something that was so huge, and we saw the audiences growing, and by the time we got to Soldiers Under Command, it was a $40,000 record where we weren't even able to be at the mix because we were supposed to be in Japan, and we were there playing, and next thing I know, it kept getting into bigger budgets and bigger crowds, and everything was great. We were having a great time. It was a wonderful thing, but it just kind of grew. It just kept growing, and I guess with what we were talking about on every record was kind of what we were going through at the time and what we were feeling at the time when we were doing the record. So I think it grew really well. I have a lot of great memories. You know, I've had a lot of wonderful times and met a lot of wonderful people and seen a lot of really good things happen that I'm still hearing about today.
My thoughts on the Video Lady, a video that you're about to see, as a matter of fact, and I don't think many people have seen this video. The song, lyrically, I wrote for my wife, and it's just a love song, you know, expressing, you know, my love and when I first saw her and met her, and you know, how in love I am with her. The video is different from any other video we've ever done, and it was kind of tough for me because basically there's cuts of a girl, you know, throughout the video, and I'm supposedly singing to her. When Stryper would do something like that, we'd take a lot of heat for lyrics like that. And, you know, I personally feel that there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's a great thing to be able to express your love for, you know, your spouse through a song, if that's your talent. That was me, and here's the video.
Against the law doesn't mean against Christ. That's a real important thing for everyone to know. We heard so many rumors that people thought when they heard the song Against the Law that we were saying, Jesus, we want no more of you. We want no part of you. We are against you. That is not true. Stryper has never, ever been anti-Christ. We've made mistakes. We've looked back at our life and said, you know, maybe we shouldn't have did that right there, or maybe we should have done this, but it's never been a thing to be anti-Christ. The record was done to try to reach a part of the crowd that we felt we weren't reaching. There's a lot of, say, kids in Metallica or Guns N' Roses or whatever that we felt that were maybe a little bit nervous about listening to Stryper because it was so Jesus up front. So what we wanted to do was do a record and work with a producer that we'd never worked with, Tom Wehrman, great producer, and put out this record that kind of had maybe a less of a vibe of In God We Trust. See, In God We Trust was very out there. In God We Trust. I mean, that's pretty bold, okay? Which is great. We did it. We loved it. It worked. But we felt we still weren't touching into that audience that we felt really, really needed it. So when we put this record together, that's what we wanted to do. Now, some things happened along the way that were mistakes. A lot of them were 100% part of the record company we were working with at the time that is now out of business. Things happen like taking the Isaiah off the name, for example. I never wanted it to happen, wasn't my idea. I was signed under contract and I got to work with people, and sometimes they make demands you don't like, but you still have to do it, okay? Now, I regret this whole thing of not being able to have the chance to really tell people where we were at the time, what we were going through. If most people knew, they'd be shocked. But the important thing to know is that it was a learning lesson, and we were speaking on that record at the time what we were going through. I had a great time doing the record. I love the way the record sounds. I love the vibe. But I think a lot of people criticized us and said, you know, before you were always so outspoken, and now you're not really that outspoken. And we hear this phrase, against the law, and two of the guys have beards, and I don't see Isaiah there, so, you know, maybe these rumors are true. Maybe they don't stand for the Lord anymore, and that's really unfair. And that's not the way that it is. I mean, if I didn't love the Lord, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today talking about it in front of the camera. I mean, I'm sitting here, the Lone Ranger. I'm the guy that's left, okay? I'm sticking with the ship. Maybe the ship looks like it's going down, but it's not, okay? And I'm sticking with it because I feel that Stryper stands for something, and it's more than just songs. It's more than an against the law. It's more than a to hell with the devil. It is standing for Christ. So I tell everyone out there, against the law was never a thing to be anti-Christ. It was just rock and roll. And now we go into the 7th record. I don't know what it'll be, but I think you'll like it.
You know, and one thing I do want to answer is a lot of people, there's a whole negative vibe on, you know, Michael Sweet leaving Stryper, and I don't want anyone to think that it's, you know, you don't have to look at it in a negative way. It's something I felt led to leave the group and do something on my own. Musically, I'm doing a little bit, you know, different style than those guys want to carry on doing. I think they want to carry on doing a bit of a heavier type vibe, and I'm doing more of a kind of like a Bryan Adams, Bon Jovi type thing. So, but hey, you know, those guys are my bros. I love them and I support them. There might be a lot of you wondering what it was like to make a Stryper video, and it was an experience, I tell you that. It was hard work. It wasn't your typical video. As far as, there's a lot of, especially these days, there's a lot of in and out type videos. You know, you get in there and you bang it out and you get out, and there's a lot of budget videos, lower budget videos. With Stryper, we spent a lot of money on videos. You know, it was high budget stuff, and we spent a lot of time on it. You know, many times we'd spend 2 days shooting, you know, I mean full, there at, you know, 10 in the morning and not out of there till like 2 or 3 in the morning, you know, days. And it was really rough. But I think that was something else Stryper was always kind of known for, was their videos. We were a group, when Stryper did something, we'd like to do it right, you know, whether it was making a record or making a video, or putting on a show, doing a concert, doing a tour. And we always like to do it right. Big production, lots of money spent. And we always had the attitude of, you know, you gotta compete and you gotta impress, you know, because in order to go out there and reach people who are into all these other groups that put millions of dollars into their production or their records, you gotta go out there and basically try to do the same.
All right, well, a long time ago, we did a silly little, oh, how can I say it? We had finished filming a video called Lady, and we were tired. The equipment was still set up, and the director said, look, let's kind of goof around a little bit here, and let's put on the song Two-Time Woman, and let's film you guys, and the remainder of the crew here kind of be taking things away. And I said, well, I don't know if that'd be really cool or not. Maybe it kind of looked funny or kind of stupid, but we did it anyways. And I've only seen it once. All I know is I got doused with ice water in it, so it's kind of a goof around thing. So here it is, Two-Time Woman.
Let's get this stuff loaded. Got light around here. You guys want to just split, or you want to do one more tune? Let's jam. Let's jam. I want to split. Look, I'm not doing a video anymore. Let's jam.
Look, I gotta get my booty sleep.
Okay, fine.
I feel like jamming.
Come on.
You need lots of music.
Hey, let's jam. Let's jam. Hey, let's jam the tune at rehearsal. Okay. Two-Time Woman. That's it, right? Okay, let's do that one. Let's do that.
Hey, pull it up.
Take it, right? Hey, man. Can you mind getting out of the way? People, when they hear this record musically, will say, ah, that's Michael Sweet. We gave our lives to the Lord. We gave the band to the Lord, and decided to do it for God. And we went up, up, up. He took 4 guys who were nothing, and he used this in such an incredible way to open new doors and, break down barriers. And it's incredible, and I'm thankful to have been a part of that. I left the group almost 2 years ago, back in 1992. It's time to move on, It's time to forget about the past and move on. And I finally found, my sound and what I wanted to do and what I'm happy doing musically. I guess the rest is history. People come and go. One thing I know, Jesus never leaves you. In 1983 is when we became the band Stryper. We changed our name from Rock's Regime to Stryper. The lyrics were already set up to be changed over. They were borderline Christian lyrics already before we committed 100% to God, and it just worked out. We rewrote a few lyrics here and there, and started having Bible studies at our garage. We'd perform, and then we'd have a Bible study, and we'd have about 50 kids packed into our little 2-car garage. Did our first record, put it out. It sold 150,000 units in about 3 weeks. He took 4 guys who were nothing, and he used this in such an incredible way to open new doors and, break down barriers. And it's incredible, and I'm thankful to have been a part of that. The peak of the band, I guess, if the other 3 guys were sitting here, we might have different views, but my view as far as the peak goes was the "to hell with the devil" point. We were out playing to 10,000 seat, 10,000 people a night average. The record sold 1.5 million. We had a gold and a platinum video off of that record. We had a top 20 single and another top 40 single off of that record, and it was just incredible, especially for a group basically that was a Christian group on a small independent label. I remember, pulling into town on the "To Hell with the Devil" tour and loading in our gear to play this venue, and before the show would start, there would be Christians out in front with bullhorns, telling people not to go in and not to go to a Stryper show, and that was always, I just couldn't comprehend that or understand that at all. And instead of go out and get in an argument with them or get in a fight with them, we would always go out and offer them tickets and tell them to come in and check it out. We weren't really like any other Christian band. We kind of, we did it our own way, and we broke open a lot of doors and, broke a lot of new ground. And I think a lot of Christians couldn't, either they didn't want to accept it or they couldn't accept it. Stryper started to change during the making of Against the Law. When we started rehearsing for that album, our attitudes changed, and we kind of turned into 4 rebellious guys. We put God on a shelf. There was a period, the whole Against the Law period, when we were drinking, and we were definitely partying, and it was all the part of the rebellious thing. All the rumors about drugs. We weren't doing drugs. The whole history of Stryper, from the beginning to the end, we were never doing drugs, ever. We always spoke out against drugs, and I still do speak out against drugs. I know that God has forgiven, and not only forgiven me, but forgotten about it, and I know that, and I know that He's going to do incredible things in the future. There's a song on the Michael Sweet record called "Take Me Home," and that kind of wraps it up as far as my feelings and what I went through and what I'm coming out of, you know, right now. I rolled the dice and took a chance, and you know, I played not only with other people's lives, but with my own life, and you know, how I just cried out to God to take me home, you know, and only He could break my heart of stone and take me home, and I knew that and realized that. So, you know, it's something that I think not only myself, but Christians, every Christian out there in the world has to deal with, you know, being broken, you know, and releasing and letting go of pride or wanting to do it their way, and just coming to that breaking point. And, you know, that's what I went through. I went through a breaking point, definitely.
I guess you can see behind me here all the lights and all the staging that's being set up for the video. We're shooting a couple of videos here, and it's for a song called Someday on the record, a ballad, and another song called All This in Heaven Too, which is an upbeat rockin' tune. It's just a song about, you know, how unbelievable it is that God, you know, could give me all that He's given me, and not only give me all that He's given me, but heaven too. I guess you're gonna follow me, and I'm gonna introduce you to some people. We'll start with this guy right here. Yeah, this is the Q man right here, man. The Q man. This guy's been helping out, making this video happen. Tell him what you've been doing, man. You've been eating a lot.
I've been eating a lot.
Okay, yeah, let's go over here. Let's meet this guy. Hey, Charlie, come here, man. Look at, see the guy who looks bewildered and like he just doesn't know what. He doesn't have a clue. He's freaking out.
Hey, read the shirt.
Hey, this is Mr. Featherstone right here, man. He is the guy who
Lights him up.
did these lights. Can we get the lights happening, man?
Yeah, we
Show
got
this
the
guy,
lights
right. We're gonna get the lights happening. He's gonna go turn those on. This guy right here, yeah. This guy is the master percussionist of the band and the pigskin slammer, man. And, yeah, we got this guy back here. This is the director. This is the guy.
I do all the guitar tracks too. You think it was Michael Sweet? Wrong answer.
Yeah, and right here, of course, last but not least, definitely my family. We got Mikey Jr. right here. Mikey, hey, look it. Say hi. We got Alina. Say hi.
Say hi.
Say hi right there. Say hi.
Say hi.
She says, no, I don't think so. And then we got my wife right over here. I think I got everyone in the building, and I'm signing off because we're out of tape. See you later. The song Someday is about a period in my life where I just, you know, I wanted to go home, you know, meaning heaven. You know, I came to a point where I was just fed up, you know, with very depressed and, you know, just very down and out, and I wanted to go home. And I'm sure, you know, all Christians feel that at some point, you know, and they cry out to God, God, you know, take me home, come back, you know, someday, you know, soon. And that's what that song's about, is, you know, just believing and knowing that God's going to come back and return for, you know, His people someday.
That's a wrap!
I don't think so.